What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's Maverick here today with another episode of Engage Kiss. So last episode was kind of like an in-between episode, all things considered. We drive the plot along. We have some exposition between Ayano and Kisara and whatnot. And of course, we know a little bit more about what exactly is driving Shu on, right? Like why he's doing all of this, what's his ultimate goal, etc., etc. Not that we couldn't know of these things beforehand, but it is nice to shed some light and confirm some of this stuff, right? In any case, we are in the middle of an investigation right now. Not really sure how we are going to continue on, so I think the best thing to do is just jump right into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, we're starting with the opening this time. Alright, alright. So I guess, well, this also mean that, we are going to be having like a continuous story or whatnot. Like, this probably means, the fact that they are putting the opening at the very, very beginning probably means that there's not really a natural break in the action or story once we get into this. By the way, I've heard some rumors that this is apparently going to be having like 2 seasons, potentially. Although I haven't really been able to confirm that anywhere, so I'll just consider it a rumor for now. Like, I know that some people are saying it's been listed on other places for 2 seasons and so on and so forth, but I'm still like having a question mark on all of that. Although what apparently is going to happen is that there's going to be a smartphone game based on this. So the more you know, right? It doesn't really necessarily look like something that can have a have a smartphone game, especially when there's only this many main characters. But we have seen some smartphone games that are more concerned with like story driven and so on and so forth. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this part. Yep. Like Ayano is a pro, right? So she's not just gonna be like a damsel in distress. Nice. Wow. I mean, I'm sure she's able to afford that. Yay, he can eat. Good question. Like, who's the one who shot that arrow? Rhino's mom? This lady, right? Quarantined? Really? Are you talking about yourself? Mm-hmm. Disaster prevention consultant. Alright, so that's Shu's family, eh? I mean, I think it's... Wait, Ayano never heard about this? That's... That doesn't really make much sense from a... Well, I guess maybe like... I don't think I really... Really? Okay, so then... Well then... I mean, I guess it adds another layer if he wants to clear the name of his parents. But still... Mm, I think there's a lot of holes in this particular backstory, to be honest. Like, for instance, if this was a kid, like, so how is he even able to get into this industry in the first place, right? I also don't really quite get how Ayano never knew anything about this, right? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense from a story perspective to only reveal that information now and to have some development in their relationship now, but I don't. Anyways, I don't know how I feel about that, right? Like that supposedly the two who were very much in love, Shu and Ayano, and yet they never even knew that much. Or Shu never told Ayano about this. Ayano never knew anything about all of this. I certainly hope they left a note on what they're doing. Moments ago? Shu? So that's her. Hmm, alright. Well, that's why you had sort of like benefactor there. I feel like Ayano really would do it, actually. I mean, that much we pretty much inferred as well, right? Because she was pierced by a spear, but we didn't see a body or anything. I bet Kisara is just frothing at the mouth right now. Alright, so he pretty much viewed this as some sort of premonition that he needed to do something. But still, the main turning point should still be like his encounter with Kisara, right? You know, out of all, this is the first time that Ayano, like, I guess because it's here, so Ayano is a lot more assertive than usual. I mean, wow. Although I'm glad for them. Should you guys really be doing this whilst, you know, like, yeah, well, this could happen at any time? Or is that, oh, so Kisara was always there? Hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty like, so she was. Yeah, she was definitely there, right? All the time. Still, like, what exactly is Kisara? I'm still like, that's my 101 question right now. So was that the was that the memories that she got? Hmm. That I don't think that's quite playing fair though, but all right. Interesting. So yeah, that oh, here's that spear. The spear that pierced through Kana, right? Because he got paid for this job. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, she said that too. Wait, so I don't know. Asked for that herself. Oh, so this kind of ties in with. Oh, this ties in with the ending. Okay, that's a good. That's a pretty nice way of doing things. Okay, okay. Well, all right then. I'll see you guys after this. Alright, guys, so with this episode, we learn a lot more about the backstory and the setting of a lot of things. But honestly, I'm a little bit conflicted by all the information we got, as well as the development of events for this particular episode, right? So let's talk a little bit about Shu's past first. So now we can finally confirm like what his dad's occupation was. So it was something to do with this sort of disaster. I'm not sure if it's exactly demon related, but disaster prevention. I'm going to go out a limb and say that it was probably demon related because they had known that there was this existence of demons in the inside the city, right? And so once again, something that's quite obvious from the very beginning, this sort of like origamium, this like this miracle energy source that definitely has something to do with the demons, right? They are intertwined somehow. We just don't know how yet. And so that's, getting all that rich energy comes with its own demonic infestation problem here, right? So Shu's parents were the ones who were crying out against the against this particular event, or crying out against this particular exploitation, but at the end something happened. Maybe they were set up, like maybe they were, or maybe it was just an accident all in all, and it was just a cover up, and they simply became the scapegoats, right? That's also unclear as of this point. Like, it could have been an intentional thing, right? Asking them to come here, do an inspection, and then purposely blaming them for things that went wrong, or it could have been just a wrong, wrong people, wrong time, that kind of thing, and they were simply there, so they happened to be the scapegoats. If I were to say from more of a plot perspective, it would probably be the former. Like, this is probably preordained. They weren't just simply there as a result of just a result of coincidence, but it's hard to say at this point, right? And we still don't know much about the enemy behind the scenes, if you will, so that remains to be seen. Now, I'm not entirely certain, not entirely, like, I'm not sure how I feel about the entire development of, Ayano's and Shu's backstory there as well. Like, I find it hard to believe that they were so much in love and dating for so long, and yet, and they were also within this sort of, like, demon extermination business as well, and yet Ayano never knew anything about Shu, like his past, etc., etc. Like, even, like, at the very least, right, she should know about Shu's parents, Shu's family, right? I mean, as far as if they are, this is another part that's kind of like, I'm not entirely satisfied in terms of the story, which is, if Shu's parents were as infamous, right, they are the scapegoat for this incident and so on and so forth, then Shu himself should have also gone for a lot of scrutiny when he first came to this city, and or returned to this city and started out, as an employee under the president, within AAA, and even now when he's trying to do his own thing, right? But yet, and so at the very least, Ayano should have known things about this as well, and yet she never really thought to question or ask a little bit more deeply into the situation. So that's why I feel like this particular part of the backstory isn't exactly very well thought out. There's still a lot of holes, a lot of inconsistencies. Well, maybe not inconsistencies, but just things that feel really, really weird and shouldn't logically happen, right? Like, maybe I'm being a little bit too nitpicky here, but I do feel that for all the background story and the world building that the series has shown up to this point, I feel like in this particular episode, the way that they handled the past was definitely a tier below average, right? Like, I can understand that they are facing this sort of problem where they have to explain the story to us viewers at the same time, and trying to trying to add the exposition within the anime, within the dialogue and whatnot, in order to make it seem natural, right? So instead of dumping exposition on us through some sort of, like, contrived event where the characters talk about it themselves or go for a flashback or whatnot, they're trying to bring it out more naturally. Like, Ayano's mom tells her about the situation, like why Shu is so desperate to utilize his memories to fight the demons and to clear his parents' names, to get revenge, etc., etc., etc. But again, like, I feel that a lot of this stuff Ayano should know, considering her situation, her status. I mean, I guess one good thing to come out of this was the Kana situation, which apparently Shu mentioned that he hasn't told anyone before. To be honest, I think it would have been a lot better if Ayano knew of Shu's situation, right? His parents, and the fact that he wants to clear their name, etc., etc. But just leave this one thing, right? Just leave Kana there. Just leave this one little tidbit of information as something that Shu has withheld from Ayano. I think that makes their relationship feel a lot more authentic, if you will. Supposedly these two are so much in love with each other, and yet this topic was never brought up. Like, I find that hard to believe, right? So I don't know. I feel like they should have had a little bit more thought put into that situation. As it stands, Ayano is coming out of this sort of like this entirely clueless girl, right? Even more clueless than Kisara, and I don't know, like, but going by this episode, it might seem that she's gained the upper hand in some way, you know, because she's once again reconfirmed her feelings with Shu and so on and so forth. But I think, you know, in the overall war, she has lost a lot of points just because she was not in the know of all of this thing. Like, she is in the know now, but I don't know. The situation has also kind of changed at this point, right? So, yeah, I feel like there's just a much better way to go about that entire situation here. And then, you know, in this episode, like how things developed along. Like, first Ayano was being like, okay, I'll forget about you, I won't interfere once again. And then, you know, like, what spurred her to change her mind later, right? Like, why would she ask Kisara to take away Shu's memories of this time, of their supposed last time, and then you know, just continue interfering and supporting as usual. So what was the whole point of that? Like, that was supposed to be like one big convection that Ayano made, right? That was time when she put her foot down, like that showcased her determination and whatnot. And so she's going back on it just after, like I don't know. It just doesn't really make too much sense at that point, right? Was it supposed to be like breakup sex, and yet at the very end it turned out into something that she couldn't forget, and so she wanted to continue on? Is it like that kind of situation? I mean, maybe like that kind of, if we view it from that way, that kind of works, right? Like how breakup sex is always kind of sort of a bad idea in a lot of ways, because, you know, the emotions, the feelings might be rekindled, might flame up once again, but I don't know. It's just a lot of, I don't know, because especially with the memories being gone as well, I really don't know how I feel about the situation. Okay, actually, I do know how I feel about the situation. I don't really like the situation. That's my point here. I feel like there would have been a lot of other ways to go about all of this, and still, you know, arrive at a satisfying conclusion at the very end. Like even if you want Ayano to in the end, like, being, you know, having her emotions rekindled and still wanting to help Shu at the very end there, like, why erase Shu's memories, right? Like, why do we have to do that? I mean, at this point in time, right, you know, if you want to keep the power balance between Kisara and Ayano, you could still keep it, right? Because Ayano, like, Shu isn't going to go back to Ayano and you know, become boyfriend girlfriend once again. But in all intents and purposes, Shu's current partner is still Kisara, right? So this was like a one-time, well, this maybe a one-time fling and maybe a multi-time fling, but at the end of the day, the one who holds the sort of like actual position of partner should still be Kisara, right? So, like, I just don't get, like, why in this episode we had to have this sort of development. It just, I don't know. It just bugs me in a lot of ways, because at the end of the day, it is still, you know, each and every one of Ayano's memories being gradually eroded from Shu's side, right? I guess the counter to that is to make some more memories, but then even if so, like, if we get into this kind of a positive mindset, then this particular episode, right, by erasing everything that happened in this episode, or at least most of it, or like the important parts of it, then that also kind of goes against that philosophy as well. So you guys get what I mean? So it just ends up at this situation where, you know, you don't really get the moral of the story, you don't really get any satisfying conclusion, you don't really get anything in terms of the, you know, of people's evolving beliefs and whatnot, and just, I don't know, it just gives me a sort of like, so what was the point of all of that at the very end there? But yeah, okay, so beyond that, regarding, I guess there's also some other parts regarding, like, the informant, you know, where exactly that information come from, and you know, this mysterious benefactor, like, what it has to do with all of this. I mean, I'm kind of like, sure. I wouldn't even be surprised if at the very end it was actually someone related to Kana, or heck, maybe even Kana herself that's been sending these messages to Shu, right? I could totally see that be a possibility as well. I mean, if we consider, like, all the organizations that we've seen so far, right? Like, who else could be the one sending all this information to Shu, right? I originally thought maybe it's Ayano's mom, but apparently not so. Then in this case, the only one that's left is the demon side, right? And the only side that would want Shu to maybe get deeper and deeper involved into the situation and understand everything very well might be Kana. So that's how I deduct this thing so far. I mean, it could be someone totally new that hasn't been introduced to them. That could also be possible, but since we are with limited information, that is what I will say for now. So yeah, anyways, that is it for this episode, and yeah, I don't think there's too much else to talk about, right? Like, I guess we still have like that sort of like tooth or claw or whatnot. I'm assuming that that's just basically a manifestation of the energies or the memories that, you know, once Kisara gets some memories from Shu, she can transfer that into like magical power to create that sort of ammunition or whatnot, and that ammunition is useful for repelling or subjugating demons. And I think that's all we need to say about that part. In any case, that's it for now. Thank you guys. I will see you guys next time. Stay tuned, and bye bye.